This is a very sad story, really. This is 2035, and I am the last comedian on Earth. I'm hiding away somewhere in a sort of a cave. And I have to be careful because they've tried to track me down, but I've just been very fortunate they haven't yet quite got on to me. Because they abolished comedy quite some time ago in the year 2021, I think it was, when they banned all after Joe Biden won an election, and they had a sort of pretend black person, an Indian really, as a running mate, some Kamala Harrison, and she wasn't as black as what it was trying to make out, but it's nonetheless she was sort of black enough to win the black sympathy vote, wherever that is. And from then on, it sort of went downhill for comedians, because black or white, you couldn't make a joke about anything otherwise. If you was even a black, Dave Chappelle, all the other black comedians, they were some rounded up by Black Lives Matter people for not conforming into what they thought our black person should be, which is joining in with burning, looting, and doing things like that. And that sort of attitude, some of those black people couldn't go along with the black burning, looting, murder, and some of those other stuff that seemed to go into in Seattle and Chicago and places like that. And suddenly, and we joined with Antifa, whoever they were, anti-something, anti-life, anti-family is whatever it is, and they joined with them and descended into anarchy and all that. And because people, or black people, the comedians especially, who are better educated, they couldn't go along with it. They were rounded up and banned from making comedy. And another thing I am also is I got registered on the registered homophobics register. They created after Joe Biden won the election, and with Kamala Harris, and they made a homophobics register. If you could say, yes, I'm homophobic, I was born that way, And like homosexuals saying, we are born this way, you have to accept me. Well, homophobes say, they thought, well, this is a great chance for equal rights, because, equal rights for everyone. Well, everyone equal. What they didn't really tell you what happening was everyone had to be levelled down. So white supremacy, wherever it is the opposite to white supremacy, had become the norm. Whatever white supremacy is, just like being good at maths, I suppose, and inventing electricity and motor cars and all those sorts of things. Well, that's sort of showing off. You couldn't, that was sort of, you can't remind anyone that white man invented a Daimler Benz, because it upsets everyone in Africa. Everyone in Africa, they hate Benzes. They're driving in Benzes and saying, oh, fuck, this is a white man invented this heap of shit. And it really bothers them, and they spend all the hard-earned money from the governments in Africa, and they buy BMWs or Rolls Royces and drive around and saying, I hate being seen in this Rolls Royce, because a white man's supremacy brought this about. And electricity, they hate that. They switch a light on and go, oh, well, I can see. I have to look for a candle or oil lamp. No, that really pisses them off, because that's an example of white supremacy. So what the left are trying to do is take everyone back to where it was before whites invented any of these things. Only these flashy things, show off whites' brilliance at inventing things. That has to be banned, because that would then make all the black people happy in the world. If we've got to quit out that thing, what we white supremacy, because we invented a white thing like a car or a train or electricity and stuff like that. Well, that's by getting rid of those sort of things and going back to how it was before the Industrial Revolution, and going right back before they invented the printing press even, so everyone was sort of told what to think by the priests, and that's how it is with Dems and these sort of politically correct people, these zombies. They want to do that, and so therefore everyone goes back to like the 14th century. And now we're getting a COVID-19 plague, which is very coincidental. At the same time, we're going back to living in the dark ages before the printing press. Now we're getting a plague as well, which started in 1340. I think it might have been round about that date. I'm not exactly sure, but they came along with political correctness then, Catholic political correctness. then, and they had a plague at the same time. So it's really coincidental. History really is repeating. We're going back to the Dark Ages when the priests owned the knowledge and told you the earth was flat. And soon, that will be the doctrine of the left. The earth is flat. You have to go back to before all, the white man. He was a white person. It wasn't. That's no proof. It could be, black people could have gone thousands of years ago. We don't know. We crossed the globe. Of course they did. From Africa, so they said. But no, not all. It was flat. So, Magellan and someone went round the earth and said, oh, it's round now. And that's another act of a swarthy white man. It was Portuguese, whatever it was, Spanish. Anyway, another thing, because I did register on this homophobic register. I had to register homophobic because, and we tried to do that. You could do that, but it was a trap. It was a trap because they said it was sort of racist and white supremacists to deny having sex with a black homosexual. And some of us actually have an abhorrence to the idea of having sex with a man and having penetrating a man or being penetrated by one. It's sort of like one of the things that makes you want to puke when you think about it. And you can't help it. That's the way you're born. You're born with this thing in you, like you really fancy these soft, cuddly things with bits of fur all over them called women. I mean, it's normal, soft, fluffy, all that sort of stuff. But that was sort of become against the law to be able to recognise a woman by 2025. Actually, if you could tell the difference between men and women, they sent you to some sort of school indoctrination where you could no longer, when you came out for 3 months of this, and once you come out, if you could recognise the difference between men and women, you have to go back in for another 3 months. So they sort of knocked the idea of gender out of you because you couldn't, And then what happened was it because of a sort of not natural selection, unnatural selection. So black homosexual become the dominant, if you like, entity in society, and you had to sort of have sex with them if it was otherwise. You could have the claim of showing white supremacist tendencies and being racist if you did not have sex with a big black man. Well, the fact is the size of their dongers. I mean, that's going to rip a bloke apart. And of course, everyone's going, oh, no, freak out. They can't fancy that sort of thing, You have to have sex with a black homosexual because if you didn't now, because you could tell you had still had a preference from one gender to another. And after Joe Biden got in, and it carried on and got worse and worse. After the next election, it got worse and worse, and it got kind of dominated by this political correct doctrine. So by the time 2025 came along, you should have no choice, and someone we were put in prison for refusing to have sex with black homosexuals with used dongers. I mean, there was a problem. I might have escaped into the countryside and lived pretty rough for a while and hold myself up. But there you are, see, it is 2035 now, and I think all the comedians were rounded up a long time ago, and I think they sent somewhere in China, something like that. And they said, Kim Jung Un wanted them to go there. He said he needed a laugh. You see, he was bored with shitless with Korean humour. So there's a rumour there that all the comedians in the world did end up in North Korea because Kim Jung Un saw a great opportunity there. He said, I know, I could lead the world in comedy. I'll have my people laughing like mad. I'll make them all happy and I'll be happy myself. All the comedians, so it's rumoured, went to North Korea and lived in a life of luxury under the protection of Kim Jung Un, who at least we can be sure had a sense of humour, and he wasn't really bothered about the colour that the white comedians and the black comedians just enjoyed them all in his country called North Korea, and he protected them from political correctness, which was just brilliant, really. What a strange turnaround. White comedians and black comedians all went to North Korea to live, to be protected of Kim Jung Un. I mean, just when you think about it, how things turned around. It was amazing. But yeah, I am the last comedian on Earth. Happy sad, really, isn't it?